All right, welcome back to Ignite the podcast. Today, I have none other than Mo. Most of you know him as the Watch Plug. This guy owns the OC. He owns the watch game. Anybody that knows anything about watches is this guy. And so, for those of you that don't know who he is, stay tuned. We're gonna learn a little bit about him, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Really appreciate the kind words, big words. We're still growing.
Yeah.
I'm still starting. I have a long way to go, and it's all about the journey. So.
I like the humbleness, man. This guy's humble, but don't believe him. He is the man. So you need to watch. He is the plug. So look, I want to ask you a question real quick. Who is Mo, or who was Mo before the Watch Plug? Because a lot of people don't know where you came from. I even asked you. My wife thought that you were Mexican. She's like, oh, he's Mexican.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm Mexican.
Like, don't talk Spanish. He knows Spanish. Don't talk about him.
My wife is Mexican, so, if somebody's talking about me or talking about something, I guess I can, budge in. It's hard for me to speak, but I do understand a lot. But I guess.
Yeah, who are you, brother? I mean, were you born here in the States, or what's your nationality?
I was born in Kuwait, which is in the Middle East, in 1988, and there was a war in 1990 between Kuwait and Iraq, which we fled to Jordan, and then my dad is originally from Palestine, Jerusalem, so I've been kind of all over the place. Lived in Jordan for about 14 years, and moved to America at 14, which was pretty much my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, we moved in with my uncle. We weren't in the best financial position. So I moved in with my uncle. My dad was living separately, couldn't really afford a house. That was for all of us. So, stayed out there, did a couple of years in high school with my uncle. And then finally my dad was able to get us an apartment. So we moved to that. And bro, that was just the beginning.
And where did you touch down when you came to the U.S.?
In Orange.
Orange.
Luckily, my uncle lived in a good area in Orange, and I went to Villa Park High School. Got kicked out of a couple high schools for pretty much grades. It wasn't like anything bad that I did.
Not like me, like always fighting. No. I went to 4 different high schools, brother, because I couldn't stop fighting.
Yeah, so I got one of those, but it was mainly because I didn't speak English, bro. So I was failing all my classes, and they sent me to a continuation school, which is kind of where I started getting into trouble more. So,
okay.
Yeah, in continuation school.
All in the OC?
Out of there too.
All out here in the OC?
All in the OC too.
Makes sense. You own the OC, so.
So I've been out here so I came here when I was 14. I'm 36 now, so 22 years.
Wow.
It's a long time, bro.
Yeah.
So usually I'm used to saying I lived more in the Middle East than here. Now it's officially flipped. Like more American than I was Arab,
Yeah.
I lived here for longer.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And how about let's talk about business, like regarding you starting businesses, because obviously you went to school.
Yeah, so my first job, bro, was at TJ Maxx. I was 16. I just got my work permit. I applied at TJ Maxx. All my friends, I got lucky, bro. I have really good friends. All my friends are entrepreneurs. Even today, like when you look at my friends that I grew up with, each single one of them is not just surviving, they're fucking killing it.
They're killing it.
They're killing it, bro. They're killing it. One of my boys own a debt settlement company that's worth millions of dollars. My ex-partner, which was like the first person I met in America, owns a chain of chicken stores, like a fried chicken stores.
Okay.
So it's almost every single person I grew up with is doing something.
And
it's crazy because we're not affiliated at all.
That's what I was going to ask.
We've never even done business together. As crazy as it sounds. So
wow.
We've all kind of like just in our own lane, succeeding and just meeting up and figuring things out.
And it all came from nothing.
All from nothing. So, after TJ Maxx, I started working at Commerce Casino. I did valet. So
okay.
I did off the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did valet parking for a couple of years until I learned like English really good. And then all my friends that I just mentioned, they were working at a call center for a company called Turned West. It's Wyndham by Turned West by Wyndham, which was like a timeshare company.
Okay.
So we're selling timeshares, and I came in, I got on the phone, bro, and just started grinding. I barely spoke English. I had a really heavy accent. And I think that kind of helped me because people were like, every time I called somebody, they were like, who the hell is this guy? Like it's just a heavy accent trying to, talk to me. And, we did that, and I became the top producer of the company, started
Just
making.
hungry.
Yeah. So 16, 17, at 17, going to 18, I was making about $3-4 grand a week, which was like a lot of money for my age.
Yeah.
Didn't invest any of it.
17 years old, $3-4 grand. It's still a lot of money for this age.
Because it was all about.
Time,
yeah, it's dope. It's dope because we were getting paid $6.75 an hour. Yeah. And it was all commission. For each person you bring in to watch our presentation, you would get $50 to $100. Once you get over 15 people, you get over $250. So I would bring in about, 30, 40 people a week to watch this presentation.
No.
The cool part, whether they bought something or not, I got paid.
Yeah.
So I always told them, like, you don't got to take your credit card. You don't got to take cash. Just show up, watch the presentation, and you'll get your gift. So that was pretty much the beginning of hustling, bro.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a base salary job. It was like the more you hustle, the more money you're going to make.
Yeah.
So we did that for a while. And after that, 2008, everything in the world crashed. So turned west, went out of business. And I got into the marijuana. So it was like kind of like just dabbling with it. We opened up a dispensary. We were like one of the first people to start that. We weren't making crazy money because it was so new.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of like surviving, making a few $1,000s a day. And I did that from 2009 till 2012.
What took you from obviously the call centers? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You already learned how to hustle, how to sell, because you were selling. It's sales.
Yeah.
I was learning how to sell yourself, and then getting people to just walk in through that door, and then to transition to the weed industry after the market crash. I ended up in the automotive industry after the market crash, from the real estate back into the automotive industry.
Yeah, I did car salesman for a while. I did it for like 2 weeks. And
Bro.
that's where I met my my other partner, and we laugh about it because, bro, I went there for 2 weeks, and I was like, bro, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So I ended up making everybody quit, and got them different jobs. We're like, bro, we can't
Bro.
work here. Let's get the hell out
That's
of here.
crazy. That's how I ended up too. And after the '08 crash, I ended up selling cars, and that's the one thing that I told myself I never would do in my lifetime. And when I lost everything,
Crazy,
I
bro.
called my buddy like, "Hey, I need a job, bro. Let me go
Yeah.
in there and sell." I lasted 2 months, a little bit longer than you, but
Yeah, it was nuts, bro.
Yeah.
But to go back to your question, the main reason why I went into weed, because I saw an opportunity, And the working for Turned West and when it was cool, bro, but I always had to work for somebody.
Yeah.
Because it was a big company. So if I had transitioned into like loans or anything like that, because that was an option, I would have still had to work for somebody.
yeah,
And I just wanted the freedom. I just felt like I was ready to start my own thing. I had a little bit of money saved up. So I was like, you know what, let's just, take a shot at this. So I went to the weed game as...
you had a partner in that, or just yourself?
So what I did is I was going to this dispensary, bro. It's a crazy story. I was going to this dispensary pretty often. I got cool with the owner.
Yeah.
And one day I just overheard him say he wants to sell it.
Oh,
So I'm like, shit, like, how much do you want? And he said 50 grand. I'm like, bro, that's pretty cheap
Yeah,
for a
that's cheap.
dispensary, you
Yeah.
know? It was like a little hole in the wall, like not bigger than, 800,000 square feet. I was like, dude, that's a good opportunity,
yeah, 50
So
grand.
I didn't
isn't
have
it?
the 50 grand. I had like 14,000 to my name.
Yeah,
And I was like, I was going to college. I was going to Santa Ana College during that time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put this fucking clinic on Craigslist. Like, I'm going to list it for sale on Craigslist. So I had asked the owner, I'm like, if I sell your dispensary, what would I get? He said, I'll give you 10%, $5,000. I was like, dude, I had 14 to my name. So 5,000 sounded like a lot.
that's
of
good
fucking
money. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's do this. So I ended up listing it, and some guy called me from LA, and he was like, hey, I want to buy this dispensary. And I'm like, cool, like, just I'll meet you up here. And he called me while I was in class, and he's like, I'm coming right now. And I'm like, looked at my teacher, I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can't leave. It's like, midterms. I was like, I gotta go. $5,000 on the line. I gotta go.
I gotta go.
So I went, ended up buying it. And then like a week later, he called me and he's like, hey, I can't run it. Like, I can't run this clinic. Like, I need help. I live in LA. I can't come down here all the time. So what can we do? I told him, I was like, I don't want to be an employee. I was an employee for a long time.
Yeah, you were straight up with him.
If you want me to manage this, I'll run the entire thing for, a percentage. So we ended up, agreeing on a percentage. I got a small percentage of the clinic, and I became the manager. So for about from 2009 till 2012, made pretty good money.
Yeah.
And
It worked out in
he
the
decided
sense.
to sell the dispensary because
Yeah.
it was his call. I owned 30%. He owned 70.
So he could, yeah.
So he wanted to sell it. I told him don't sell it. He told me I'm being greedy. I just want to keep collecting. So we kind of got into it. So I told him, you know what, just sell it. And I didn't get 30% of sale. It was just because he owned it on paper. So after he sold it, he took all the money and he left.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Like
pretty
that?
rough. Pretty
Like
rough.
that. So
Yeah.
basically,
First lesson learned in business.
in business, yeah.
Put
I've
everything on
had
paper.
many of those. Yeah,
Put
partners.
everything on paper, even if it's your best friend.
Yeah,
Put it on
just
paper.
put it on paper.
In case you forget.
Yeah.
In case you guys both forget.
Yeah.
Just a reminder. It's not so much I don't trust you, but here's a reminder.
Yeah,
of what
business
we
is
talked about.
business. That's a reminder. Let's
Yeah.
have it on paper, writing down.
Yeah. So just like the weed game, I sat there, bro, and I hated it. I hated the weed game. There would be like news people outside because we're like literally the first, bro. So
Yeah.
they were like shocked. They were trying to talk to us like, hey, like what's going on?
Yeah, yeah,
inside? Can we
regulations,
look?
everything
Blah, blah,
going
blah.
down.
And we're
Yeah,
like-
how does this work?
I felt
Yeah.
like a criminal, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. So
yeah.
in 2013, I was looking for the next big thing. And right when, you know, I'm just very blessed that I always catch things at the right time.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in, you know, destiny. And
Yeah, God's always on time, brother. God he never
yeah, bro,
misses.
everything is written, you know.
Yeah.
There's no such a thing as luck. It's just blessings.
Yeah.
So I got into vaping. And if you know vaping, if you got in at 2013, you were
That's
one of
when
the
it was in the
pioneers.
sky,
You were one of
yeah.
the first people to start it, you know. So
Yep.
we opened up a vape shop in Redlands. That's why I mentioned.
Yeah. California, baby, the IE.
Hell yeah.
I try to tell you, the IE.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro, because my partner, the guy I actually used to sell cars with, his name is Ali. He was actually living there.
What's up, Ali?
And
yeah.
he was living in the IE, and we met at the car dealership. And he called me, and he's like, "Hey, like, where'd you go?" And I'm like, "Bro, I fuck that. Like, I don't want to work for that guy. He's an asshole. Like, bro, we hustle all week. We don't even get our check on time.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that guy. No AC in the IE. You're sitting in a room with no AC,
No
in the
AC.
summer.
Yeah,
And
it's
we're
hot.
like, bro,
Yeah,
fuck that.
the IE is hot.
So I told him, I was like, bro, let's just, I was like, do you have any vape stores in Redlands? He's like, what's a vape store? I'm like, a store, bro, that sells vapes. Is there any vape stores in Redlands? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, fuck, bro. Let's open the first vape store in the IE, you know?
Yeah.
And we opened Vape Plus. We called it Vape Plus. And, bro, we went crazy. Like,
What
right
was
off
the,
the
what
bat.
was if you don't mind me asking, the location of that area? Was that off of Orange or was that in the
Location?
downtown area?
Off Alabama.
Off Alabama.
Off Alabama,
Yeah.
right next to the TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
You know where that is?
Yeah, I know exactly what that is.
It's a pretty corporate,
seen
you know.
that Vape Plus,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we got in there again, blessed again, bro. The landlord just loved the story. He loved what we were doing. He was an older guy. The place wasn't rented for years. So he was like, I'm going to give you guys 6 months free. Just sign the lease. We're like, what the hell? Like, that's awesome. So we got 6 months free. And my boy had 15 grand to his name. I had 20, you know? So what we did is we put the money together.
So
And for
you
$35,000, that was our initial investment in vaping.
You had 20 because you didn't
Because I never
like,
saved money, bro.
but
I
you
was-
had you had some money at least saved,
Some, yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
After
yeah.
the whole
dispensary and
this
all
dude
that.
taking off
the
with
thing
everything.
is, like, when I was growing up, I was really into cars. So the minute I got a check, it would go in the car. It'd
Go
go
into
in the
the car.
sound system. It'd go in the wheels.
Yeah.
Vacations, this and that. I like living, bro.
Yeah.
Like, saving is great.
Yeah.
You know, but you might be walking down the street tomorrow.
And you're
fucking-
done.
A car hits you,
Yeah.
and all your savings will go to somebody else that'll
yeah.
enjoy it.
Time is now.
So I try to balance
Time
it.
is now, yeah.
I try to balance it. So
Yeah.
all my life, you know, I try to enjoy my money. But yeah, long story short, bro, Vape Plus became a hit. In 2015, we started a distribution company, Liquid Guys.
That one started with 35 grand. You said, right? The
35
Vape
grand.
Plus.
35 grand for Vape Plus. In 2016, we did I know for a fact we did over 60 million in sales.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's our
3 years.
distribution company. Yes.
3
that's
years
our
later.
Liquid Guys.
Wow.
So Liquid Guys was the distribution company that we opened to make the e-juices for Vape Plus. So we opened a chain of stores for Vape Plus. Our mother was Liquid Guys, where we do our own liquids, our own distribution, and all over the world. We went all over the world. We went to France. We had shows in Russia. We've been everywhere.
Wow.
So it was a big company.
Was that
generated over $100 million?
Was that the vision you had from the beginning, or you guys just
No.
thought about a shop at
Just a
first,
shop,
right? Just
bro.
a shop.
Just the opportunity, you know?
And then it just started skyrocketing,
Yeah.
and who started seeing that vision or that moves? You know, you both of you together just said, "Hey, let's go here,"
Yeah,
and then
so-
just started opening doors.
No, yeah. So Ali, the deal was when we first started was like, yo, you live in Redlands. I'll come down for the first 6 months, whatever. We build the shop, but you know, this is your hood, this is your area. You're gonna run the store.
Yeah.
So he was running the store, and I think he called me one day, and he's like, yo, there's pretty good liquid. Like, we should do something with it. The owner keeps coming in here, blah blah blah, and I'm like, cool. So we ended up sitting in a meeting with him. It was called Snap E-Liquids. And for Snap E-Liquids, we ended up just closing. We figured out, like, we were like, how can we make money without having the liability? Because there was so much liability of, like, the E-Liquids.
The liquids, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, somebody's going to get sick. They're going to sue you.
Yeah,
they're going to take all your money.
regulations, yeah.
So we were really scared of the liability. So we didn't know what to do. So I was like, you know, what if we take just the distribution rights of the brand? You know, we take the distribution rights, and that way the owner of it cannot sell a bottle in America
Yeah.
And if anything happens, if he gets sued or anything, it falls back on the company.
On the company itself.
So that was the play, bro. Once we figured out like the sauce on how to kind of like be safe and still make a lot of money, we took distribution rights for that company and we killed it, bro. We pretty much just started, we locked in a deal with him at like $2, $3 a bottle, and we were wholesaling him for 10. And I would get orders of like 30,000 bottles, 10,000 bottles. So I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I didn't want to get into manufacturing. I had a model and it worked for me. And it was just to take distribution rights out of people. And I just started acquiring more. So we acquired juice roll-ups. We were called Yogi e-liquids, Moo e-liquids, Gold Leaf e-liquids. So we had a bunch of companies now. And I'm selling 100,000 bottles of each one.
Who's helping you?
$2, $3 profit.
Meanwhile, while you're doing, because I know you're the visionary, right? You're seeing all this. Who, obviously, someone's helping you patent or get all these distributions and all, legally get all this stuff together, right?
Great fucking question. So I'm a street type of guy, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
I'm a college dropout.
Yeah, me
know?
too.
And it's not because I hate college. No, because I grew up in a fucking country where they don't even give a fuck about homework.
No.
So
You got to put in the work.
We just like, I can grind and make more money.
Yeah, we could hustle. We could
So
sell.
yeah, so I wanted like some, suit and tie partners. So I ended up partnering up with one of my boys. His name is Saad, and then there's another partner I don't want to mention right now. Not good memories, but we ended up partnering up, and I told Saad he's gonna handle all the legal part. So he handled the patents, he handled all the legal, talking to lawyers, us getting sued, blah blah blah. It was a bunch of stuff. So I had to grow my team. There's no way I could do it all by myself, bro. You could start great companies by yourself, bro, but to get to the next level, you need a team.
And Saad, you also grew up with, or
Saad I grew up with. He's actually the first person I met in America. So
Okay.
we had reconnected. So I reconnected with him, and he was actually the guy that I mentioned that owns the chicken, chicken store chains. Yeah,
So
it's
he's
called
not
Birds.
even. He
It's called
wasn't even.
BR. Let's give him a shout out. BRYDS. Super. Obviously it's all kosher. It's great brand. He's killing it.
Let's
I think
go.
he's on his 10th store right now.
That's it. That's it. Get him on the podcast
Yeah.
next.
Hell yeah. So
But he wasn't an attorney. He wasn't nothing like that. It's just
No.
you told him, hey,
Yeah.
brother, this is what I need help
Play a
with.
role.
Come in, let's handle it.
play a role. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people see. That's what I'm saying. I want people to see this because a lot of people get so caught up in the mechanics of things. Like, like you gotta have this, you gotta have this certificate, this, that. Like, no, you just gotta,
man.
get in there and like you just said, play your role.
Play your role, keep your overhead low. That's the main thing. People just always want to start with fancy stuff. Like, I don't want to skip too much to the watch world, but I want to get there. But this started with me being as a middleman. Like, I didn't just say, I want to open a watch store, I want to do this. I had to test the concept and do it. But just to go back to that, so I don't fast forward too much.
Yeah.
We ended up, we're just killing it, bro. We made so much money, and then a lot of regulation started coming out. And when the regulation started coming out, that's when we started getting fucked, pretty much. I can't say it any other way. 67% tax rate. So for every dollar I make, I had to pay 67 cents. And
So
the 30 cents left, the 32 cents or 33 cents, that was left for payroll, manufacturing, doing everything. It just didn't make sense.
Didn't make sense.
So we picked up all our shit and we drove to Vegas. We're like, let's go to Vegas. Like, Vegas has...
What year was this, brother, if you don't mind me asking?
It was late of 2018. So, 2016, we made so much money. The government started like, we need to imply.
We need to figure out what's going on in tax.
Regulations, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it started just every year after 2016, we started making less money.
Okay.
2019, bro, was a bad year because of COVID and all that.
Yeah.
And then we had a bad partner that was pretty much just caught up in life, wasn't caught up in growing the company.
Mm-hmm.
So he exited the company. We just sat, all three of us, and we wanted to buy him out. So we bought him out, took a chunk of our money to buy him out. And then we gave him a payment plan. We got him out, and it was just three of us. And we lived in Vegas for a couple of years. But then when we got to Vegas, bro, the money that we left to save wasn't worth it anymore because there were so many regulations. There's so many companies. Like, just to give you an example, we were selling a lot of Juul. I don't know if you know Juul.
Yeah.
We're selling a lot of Juul, and we were actually the Vegas distributors for Juul, but then they banned flavors. And there goes 4 out of 6 SKUs.
Yeah.
So the guy that was ordering 60,000, he's ordering 10,000.
Yeah.
So now, bro, I'm in Vegas, and I'm not making as much money as I used to in Cali, and I'm looking at the tax savings. I'm like, bro, it's not even worth it anymore.
Bro, like, here's the crazy thing about it, too. But just listening to what you're saying, it's like, this is what the poor don't understand. Like, you start taxing, companies and people that are helping basically the market evolve, right? And money flow in the
Creating
country,
jobs.
create jobs. And then you get, you start voting, you get all these regulations involved, and all of a sudden you're shutting down and you're shutting down businesses that are causing people to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
There's money that should be going into these families. They lose everything. For them, is their everything. For us, we get back up, we figure it out, we keep moving. But what about all those people that were part of the company, right? That are now it's like you're affecting yourselves more than you're affecting the actual owners or the CEOs.
That's what it is, man. I feel like California doesn't really look out for Californians.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people are leaving, and it's really messed up, the tax that we go through here. Even now with the watch world, there's so much taxes and stuff, and it's really hectic. That part of the business is not the fun part, right?
Yeah.
Everything is fun except the taxes and the IRS.
And that's the thing too, that a lot of people obviously have left, and then a lot of people think that you have to be at a certain bracket to leave to go to another state, but it doesn't have to be in the billions. Like,
No.
you see billionaires leaving, you see 3-figure millionaires leaving. Like, people are leaving for a reason. It affects
100%,
everybody,
bro. I mean, I was single when I left, and that year I had on paper I made $360,000, and I got hit with $150,000 tax fee.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, bro, the houses when I moved there were 300,
Yeah.
350 for a brand new home, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, bro, why am I here?
Yeah.
I could, with 2 years of tax savings, I could pay off a house. I was like, I'll move to Vegas for 2 years, bro, to get a free house.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that. I went to Vegas. I bought a house. It was, very profitable. I did great, but overall, I regretted going to Vegas because the business was kind of declining.
Declining.
But yeah, you don't have to go back to your point, you don't got to make $1 million to move to Vegas, bro. You could be on a $300K salary and paying 40% of that. Because if you're single and you got to pay 40% in California, and that's insane,
Yeah, it's just the savings, but it has to make sense, like you just said. And
it has to make sense. And bro, like mentally, like, you're moving away from your family, you're going to work, you're coming to an empty house every day, so it just fucks you up. It's like you got to be mentally strong. Most people didn't last. There's a lot of companies that left with us that came back after like 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
And we lasted, bro. Like, my company's still open in Vegas right now. We still have a warehouse. We're still distributing e-juice, but it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to say, like, hey, take a little bit more percentage, run the company. I want nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I want to move back.
Yeah.
What made the ultimate decision again? You said to move back to California?
So
the company's declining is not what it's making.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend. We got married, and then she got pregnant, and I was like, it's time for me to move back. So I ended up just coming back. Yeah,
so family, brother.
Yeah, and COVID, bro. Honestly, like when COVID hit, it was so fucking depressing to be there.
Yeah.
And my girls, she grew up in OC, and she was born in OC, and her mom is here, and I'm like, bro, how am I gonna take a pregnant girl and isolate her so much, and she's not gonna have support? And that's how people go in postpartum and all that stress. And so I was like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So I told her, just stay. I'm moving back.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in Vegas. So I moved back, and
it's crazy,
watches
bro.
were
Because
my-
I think when 08 happened, so many people were. I mean, not 08. I'm sorry. The COVID, and happened for us. Like, I was already so used to not wanting to be present when I was, dealing with my businesses, that I had already done things to a certain degree to where I didn't have to be present. So when COVID hit, we skyrocketed. Like, we did the opposite. When a bunch of people were falling out of business, we grew, and we killed it, because we were already pretty much kind of like positioned to a way of, like, all the regulations, all the stuff that we're trying to put in play.
Yeah,
like it didn't affect us in any way, because
That's
we were
awesome,
kind of.
dude.
But it wasn't that I prepared for it or knew that it was coming. I was just like, for me, it was just like, how can I remove myself from the picture or the image and then be able to have these things happen?
Yeah, definitely got, it's hard to time things like that. You don't know what's going to happen.
You don't.
COVID, So, like, just to give you an example of what you're saying too, like, my wife was pregnant. Everybody's like, don't buy a house, dude. Don't buy a house. All these houses are going to be like 50% off. Like, don't buy a house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, it's not about like me waiting for the house to go up and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want my wife to give birth in an apartment. Like, I really want
That's
a house.
dope. That's dope. And that's overall, that's like, people fail to see those things. That's the value.
Yeah.
That's
So-
who you are, right? I mean, it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to provide a home,
Yeah.
For me, bro, I grew up in an apartment my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never owned a home. We've never done that. So to me, it's like, I just want to get a home, And
Yeah.
I want my wife and kids to have a home. So, long story short,
Came back
bought
to
the house,
California.
bro, paid $650,000 for it. During COVID, it went to 1.2. I couldn't time that. So it was just a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Another one. So we ended up just living in Corona. That's where my house was. I wanted a big house. I wanted an acre lot. I wanted a 4,500 square foot home. So I ended up buying that house. One of the best business moves I've ever done.
Inland Empire as well.
Inland Empire.
Let's
I
go.
like that part. Like after 15.
Yeah, the 15.
Bro, it's really clean. It's really nice. Doesn't even feel like you're in Corona.
I mean, it's not my my blue zone area, but it's nice, bro. I like it.
It's nice, bro. They got big houses. I mean, they have like $4 or $5 million houses there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice.
You got to come out my way, bro. I've already come out your way twice.
I know, bro. We're in Corona now. My
Yeah.
house, and it was
You
great,
got
bro.
your
Because
wife now? She's your wife now?
she's my wife. We had a
Yeah.
kid, and the crazy part, bro, was when I bought that house, it was COVID. So I would go from OC to Corona in like 25, 30 minutes. There's no traffic.
No
whatsoever.
traffic, bro.
Didn't think about it. Didn't cross my mind. And then
I love
bro,
that
like,
moment.
Yeah.
Nobody around.
I'm like, bro, this is fucking easy. I come on fast track. I have an acre lot. I have a big house. Like, I'll drive 30 minutes to have a mansion, bro, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drive 30 minutes. I don't care. Rather than living in an apartment or something. So COVID over, traffic is back.
This
I'm
traffic
bro,
is
what
crazy,
the hell did
bro.
I get myself into? Like, getting from here to the 91 is one thing. And then getting from the 15 to my house is a whole different
nother
thing.
thing.
So it's like, oh, you got two traffics to deal with. So that's when I was like, bro, this is too much.
It's funny because that's true. Most people are used to, out here in Cali or Southern California, are used to talking about the 405 LA. I'm like, they don't know the 91.
They don't know the
You don't know
91.
the 91, man. The
Yeah.
91 will kill you.
Yeah. And then the 15 to San Diego, that thing
Yeah.
is nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only two ways to get to San Diego. It's the 5 and the 15.
15.
They're both packed all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was horrible. I didn't care about moving back to OC until I started having to come here every single day.
And then dealing with that traffic.
Yeah. And then my wife, she's in Corona all day, all week. And when it's like, she wants to come to OC on the weekends. So in my head, I'm like, fuck, I get no days off. I literally drive to OC 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So I got to that level by, starting to sell watches. That's why I had to come to OC every day. So
Yeah, let's talk about the transition from obviously the vape game kind of went down.
yeah, vape game.
And
a lot of lessons fucking learned.
Yeah.
Such as don't partner up with 4 people again. Not because it's like bad or anything. It's just too many chefs in the kitchen. There's too many bosses.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot from your creativity, bro. Like it takes a lot. Every time you want to do something, like in my business now, anytime I want to do something, I immediately do it. I don't think about it.
Yeah.
When you have partners,
You have to run it
sit
by
there,
them.
You have to run it by them. You start to, second guess yourself.
Yeah.
When you second guess yourself, the idea goes away and there goes the opportunity.
There goes the
right?
opportunity because it's all about timing.
Yeah. So, I had good experiences with partners. I had bad experiences, but I figured there's nothing better than just doing it solo, bro.
What's that?
That's
What's
a fact.
that?
Nobody's going to tell you like, oh, I'm so glad I have a partner. Like, yeah, sure, it saves you work, but saves you money. You're going to put in money. But, bro, like when you have your business account and you want to go buy a house, you want to go buy a Lambo, you don't got to buy 2. You don't have to buy 3. You don't have to buy 4. So just to give you an idea, in my watch business, I wanted to buy a GT2 RS a few weeks ago, $500,000 car. I went and bought it. I didn't have to sit there. I didn't have to think of to talk to somebody, this and that. So it just the amount of freedom you have and control is what I love. More than money, more than split, more than anything. Like I don't care having partners that I make less. It's just the freedom. I like the freedom.
Okay,
I
so
like buying a watch and putting it on.
Because there's
I
some
don't want to
people
sell it anymore.
There's some people that don't that need that partner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they do.
To have those strategies, to have those things. I mean, I have companies I'm partnering up with on
Absolutely.
consistently on there's certain things that they have that I don't have. And then we just kind of
Absolutely.
make it work.
Partnerships are not bad. I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad thing.
But I get what you're saying. Like when you're the creator, you're the visionary, you're doing all these things, and it's like it stops you because you got to run it by someone else, and then by the time you try to run it by someone else and then take action, it's too late.
It gets lost in translation.
Someone has to, like in the partnership. That's why I was going to ask you that. Like what you found was that one thing, but for you it was limited. It limit you to create and take action,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Versus like if you have the ability to continue to create and take action, and that partner's there for other reasons. In this case, you've had partners, that came in and helped you. We talked about the vape business, for legalities. Hey, make sure that everything's running and
Absolutely.
functioning.
Which I needed,
So
yeah.
in that case, that helped you with
It did.
time. It helped you leverage because
did.
you didn't have to deal with somebody. I mean, all these other things you hands on. Like, hey,
Absolutely.
handle this part, brother, and let me handle this. And then you guys skyrocketed.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just like timing.
It is.
But you're in a different game now. So
It is, bro. And I think the best way, like, I always admit it. My partners there got me pretty much where I would get on my own in 6 years. We done it in 3.
that's
You
what's
know what
up.
I mean? So you
Yeah.
gotta give credit where credit is due. So
Yeah.
when I started the watch business, bro, I didn't feel like I need a partner. If anything, I needed a capital investor. Because,
Okay.
you know, you don't
Because of the money.
Yeah, because it's a passion, bro. It's like
Yeah.
you're gonna find somebody that has the same exact passion. Like I'm not gonna go look for somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What got you into the watch game? Like, so
I always had watches. So when I was making money into the vapes, I had some personal watches. During COVID, they had gone up so much that I was like, I'm gonna sell my shit. You know, like I'm gonna sell this, I'm gonna sell that. But I sold all my stuff. I put all my money into my house. The house. I put all the money into construction. There's no financing with this stuff. So pretty much emptied the bank again. Started from scratch again. It's probably like
What year is this?
the 5th time in my life, bro, that I make millions of dollars. I go back to zero and I had to start back up.
That's what's up.
Yeah. But it was all like, I wasn't money rich. I was asset rich. Like I had a
Yeah.
paid off 720S. I had, my house, big down payment. I put 30% on it.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, I wasn't generating money from liquid guys because COVID. My bills were so high. You never realize how high your bills
They
are.
catch up.
Until you stop getting money every month.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck, bro, I got like 20K worth of bills.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to do this? So, bro, even if you had $300,000 saved, that's going to be gone in 2-3 years. You
That's
know?
funny, bro. I
Kids,
did
this
that.
and
It's funny you say that because I did that. I did it I call it the Mexican way. Where my dad always brought me and my mom and dad like pay everything off cash, pay everything off cash. And so I did. I was like, okay, everything I own is cash. And I'm like, I have all these assets now, like you just said, all this money. And I would go to the banks. I'm like, and then again, the bills, start running up, and then you
Yeah.
have cash flow coming in. And you're like, okay, cash flow. Okay, I still need more. I need to make some other moves. I can't make any moves with the assets
Yeah.
just sitting there. So I'm going to these banks and I'm like, hey, I have all these assets, millions of dollars. Like, let me borrow some money. Just 10%. They're like, nope. 5%. Nope.
That's
2%.
crazy.
I'm
This is
like,
during COVID?
I have all these assets. They're like, no, you haven't showed us that you have anything that you pay in payments on. You pay everything cash.
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
no
it's
history.
like, what are you doing? You're paying
yeah, yeah.
everything. Like, and I'm like, but I thought that, I'm like, but for me, I'm thinking, well, this is how I was brought up. Pay everything cash. You own everything, and you're the king of the world. But I'm thinking, the banks don't see it that way because I don't owe anybody nothing, and I'm not moving money.
Yeah. They
And
don't, they don't make money off you paying. cash.
Exactly. So you got to start changing the game.
Yeah.
So I changed the game that way, and that's funny that you say that because that's how I felt too. I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to feel like I'm on top of the world. Everything's paid off.
Yeah.
And instead of feeling like I'm on top of the world, I'm like, I'm broke.
Yeah.
No one wants
because of there's no cash flow.
cash flow.
So,
Exactly.
I went through the cash flow with my, construction for the house and all that. So, I started pretty much kind of like want to sell watches. So I started a page. It was called Middleman Mo, where I was kind of like, bro, like all my friends want watches. There's no big dealers in Orange County that are actually putting themselves out there. So I was like, maybe I could just buy and sell my friends' watches as a hobby. So I started, buying from I bought, crazy story. I bought a skeleton for $65,000, stainless steel. The watch now on a bad day is 125.
Wow.
I bought it for 65 grand and I sold it to my other boy for 69. So I made $4,000 so fucking quick. It was literally with like a couple of phone calls. I'm like, bro, this is too easy. Like, I'm going to do this for fun. If I could sell 1 or 2 watches a month, I'm generating fucking 5-6 G's. That's my fuck around money, right?
You were already buying watches, so you kind of already knew the value and how to get them
As a collector.
buy them at a good price and be able to sell them.
No,
No?
I wasn't getting crazy prices. I was just buying them from dealers. But then people, people feel comfortable with you. They see you wearing something. Sometimes they buy it from you, even if it's a little bit more expensive than one on the internet. So I ended up,
So it's all relationships. Like
All
in this
relationships.
case with you,
Yeah.
like that 65 went to a 69, just a relationship. You're like, hey, brother, I'm going to get rid of this watch. You want it?
So, it started there. And then, so that's when I started middlemaning watches. That's when I was like, okay, I'm just going to middleman them because I have no capital. I don't have money.
Okay.
So selling retail was hard. It's still hard, bro. Anybody that starts a watch business and they think they can just open the door and people are going to start walking in, it's hard.
It's hard.
I've been in OC for 22 years. I've had Lambos, Ferraris, Audis, Porsches, you name it, I've had it. I built a name to myself. So the minute I started selling watches, there was already a reputation. Like Mo's got it. Mo's got money. You could trust him. Like, you know, people
Yeah.
never, you know, you don't fuck somebody over for 20 years.
Yeah.
It comes through. For
Yeah,
you,
it comes
right?
through. That integrity, people know it.
Yeah. So, you know, when I started, you know, people trusted me, and I started figuring out, like, I had one guy that had watches, and I figured, how can I do business every day without having to depend on somebody walking in? Is me buying. I figured out, if I figure out buying from public and I go to these dealers, I can dump it instantly because those guys are ready to pay. They got money in their safes. They're ready to fucking cash out the watch.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, I just need to figure out buying. So I started just putting ads that I'm buying watches. And I would go to my boy's office. His name is Dara. He has an office down the street. Big fucking shout out to Dara. He's the guy that taught me everything in watches. He's the guy that got me started.
Okay.
He owns Newport Watch Club. You guys could buy from him. You guys could buy from me. You guys buy from anybody. It's all love. And the guy fucking just really trusted me. And if you know Dara, Dara doesn't trust anybody. Like, he's just very to himself. He doesn't even like customers coming to his office.
Wow.
That's like, he's very strict, you know. So I would buy watches from people and I would sell to him. And he was a buyer. He was always like, hey, whatever you get, I'll buy. So I would, you know, just go to his office.
How did you come up to that relationship with him? Like you said,
social media.
Oh, yeah?
On Instagram. You know, my name was
The power of social media.
Yeah, so Instagram. So I had a account was called West Bank. I had like 70K followers. So kind of everybody in OC that liked cars knew me.
Okay.
He was a watch guy. I buy watches, so I was familiar with him. So I ended up selling him a few watches, bro. I would pop up in his office. He texted me one day. He's like, bro, you're pretty good at this. Like, I think you have something there, you know? So, you know, we figured out a recipe, me and Dara. So if I figured, you know, my first goal when I started selling watches, bro, it was kind of like a side thing. Because like I said, Liquid Guys is still open till today.
Mm-hmm.
It's open right now. It's running. So to me, it was like, how can I perfect this side hustle? So I was like, I want to make $500 a day. I figured, bro, $500 a day is $15,000 a month.
That's all it started with.
Yeah.
The watch game.
Yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted $500 a day.
$500
You got to set your goals low, right? People shoot for the fucking moon. They're so
they
unrealistic.
and they never
they
even
get big
start.
offices. They hire employees. Like, slow down, dude.
Yeah.
Figure out if this actually works for you first
Before
then
you
can
start
go
doing
in.
that.
And that's why I never dumped any money in the beginning. I had, you know, some money, but I didn't want to dump anything in it. So I was like, you know what? I'm not using my capital. I'm not using anything. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
All I got to do is post some pictures on my social media.
Yeah.
So me and Dara figured out a recipe where I could, you know, buy the watches and sell it to him. So one day where I was sitting in Dara's office and he had his case out like that. And I'm like, all these are for sale? He's like, yeah. I was like, do you mind if I post on social media? Because I wasn't really posting that I have watches for sale. I would post that I'm buying.
Okay.
So he's
more
like,
of a buyer than a seller.
yeah. So he's like, okay. He's like, picked up 5 watches for me. And he's like, just post these 5, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I posted these 5s, worked the leads while I was at home, blah, 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 blah. Came back the next day. I was like, yo, Dar, I got to come see you. What's up? I got to buy some of those watches I posted. He's like, oh, shit, you sold some? I said, yeah, actually sold some. So he ends up, I go back to his office and I sold 3 out of 5. And he's fucking amazed. He's like, bro, you made 1 post, 1 day, and you sold 3 out of 5. He's like, there is something there. Like, there is something there. And bro, like, he started getting comfortable with me. And every time I come, I'm posting and I'm selling. I'm posting and I'm selling. So he's taking out more cases for me. He's like, post this, post that,
Showing
post this.
you, showing you.
So,
yeah.
bro, like when I came in the game, I came in heavy because I had somebody like that was saying, here's all my shit. I don't want to post as much as you. You want to put yourself out there? Go ahead and post. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. A lot of people talk shit on me, bro, because they thought like, because you know how social media paints the picture that I have so much fucking money, right?
Yeah.
And just because I got a Lambo Huracan, people think I'm just done, I'm well off.
Yeah.
At the time, Huracan was new.
Yeah.
Now it's like nobody gives a fuck about it. But
Yeah.
I bought it in 2016.
I really don't care.
Yeah. So
That's crazy. And you're right. You're
yeah,
right. So everybody
when I
at
started,
that point.
when I started posting watches, people were like talking shit on me. They're like, "Oh, he's fucking broke. He's like trying to make a little bit of money. He's that. It's like his business failed. Blah blah blah." And to me, bro, I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck what anybody thought. To me, it's like, bro, you don't want to watch? Unfollow me. Unfollow me. I'll have somebody else filter through this shit, and they're gonna follow me. They'll be the buyer. So anytime I lost followers for posting watches, because I was like, bro, if you scroll down Watch Plug, you'll see all the cars, right? And it was heavy car content, you know? Stuff that went super viral, bro. Like innovative stuff that nobody done at the time. Like the first twin turbo Huracan on bags, you know? Nobody was doing that. So stuff like that. That was just big builds. So if you look back, you know, I was just really heavy in that.
How long ago was this, Mo?
It's still going on till this day, bro.
No,
I'm
but
on
when you
cloud
started,
right
when
now.
you started posting the cars and all that stuff, like us, you know,
Oh,
on the social media, because you said you started
2014.
going heavy. On 14, you started going heavy.
2014. I started my Instagram account in 2013.
Yeah.
2014, I took off all my personal shit because I'd post pictures of like traveling, this, and that.
Yeah.
I took all that shit off. I just posted a picture. I had a GTR. At the time, a GTR was like everybody's fucking dream car.
Yeah.
And bro, it got like 130 likes. And bro, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I usually get 20 likes, 30
Yeah.
likes, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, these people want to see cars. So I figured, you know what, just post cars. So I started just posting my cars and the page blew up. You know, I got like 70K all natural followers. It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started, you know, posting watches for sale. And one thing after another, Dara told me, he's like, hey, because his office was literally, it had the best view, the best location, but it was as big as my office.
Oh, wow.
One room.
Yeah, one room.
Yeah, he had multiple rooms in the building, but where he kicked it, it was like one office. If he had a client, I couldn't come in. So he's like, bro, I'm moving to Costa Mesa. I'm getting a bigger office, and I'm gonna give you an office.
Oh.
And I'm like, fuck, that's dope. Like, I'm gonna be here every day, so I'm gonna have content every single day now. And I'm like,
And
bro,
you
like,
have all his, you have watches that he has, yeah.
and thank God, you know, we made money, me and Dar. So he was like, I'm giving you an office. You don't have to pay rent. I'm getting you your desk. I'm getting you your computer. I'm getting you everything. Let's just keep doing it the way we're doing it. You're not on payroll. You're not on anything. I'll tell you how much I want for the watch. You mark it up on your own and you sell it. I said, fair, bro. You're putting up all the money. Even if it's a little bit more than wholesale, you had to invest all this capital. You just got a bigger office. So, bro, even sometimes I would find a watch cheaper and I have it sold. My loyalty would go back to Dara and say, bro, this guy taught me everything. Like, I'm just going to go fucking sell this watch to make $500 extra.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I'd stuck
No,
with him.
you never. That's one thing I'm listening to you about, and I'm like, you know, and it's, you know, I can relate, but I like hearing what you're talking about. Like, so many people would have became unethical. So many people would have just done other things, and everything that I hear from you saying is, you know, being ethical, being, you know, having integrity, and then going back and being honest, right,
Yeah.
and being just real, just being like the money never changed who you were, and the humbleness, bro. Like you vaped, went up crazy. You know, you've already built other things, and then you came back, like you said, to become that middleman. People still talking down on you,
Yep.
and you knew who you were,
Yep.
and you knew what you were doing. You stuck to who you are, and that's what's gotten you to where you're at now.
Exactly, bro. Opinions don't pay the bills. So I never gave a fuck. I just, you know, I try to just focus on myself, bro, and the good energy that I was getting. Because for every person, like, bro, you don't get 100 people talking shit. You just get one or two motherfuckers that are just annoying, saying shit
All
from a
day
fake
long.
profile,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But you get like 50 people telling you, good job, great. I'm on the next person that buys a watch. I'm going to let him know about you.
Yeah.
So you just got to know how to navigate through that and kick those people out.
Yeah.
Literally, bro, if you look at my block list on Watch Plug,
Yeah.
thousands of people.
Yeah.
I block them. I don't give a shit. You're not a buyer, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not here to make friends. Like,
I
it's
didn't-
cool. Like, I make friends with my clients after they buy watches and we become close. But,
Yeah.
bro, like somebody that doesn't know me, never bought a watch from me and they're trying to be my friend, like, that's great, bro. But I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time for that. I'm about to have my third kid. So
Yeah.
it's like, I got a family, I got that. So when I look at Instagram, I look at it as my business. So whenever somebody tries to joke with me and try to make something, I'm like, bro, I'm here to fucking conduct business.
Yeah.
Please, if you're not talking about business, you want to talk about personal, DM me on my other profile. You know? So I try to keep up, like, it comes off like as I'm a dick, but when you're busy, bro, it's like, come on, bro.
No, and it's true. I think people don't value their time or our time, and it's like I'm not trying to be, you know, by any way, shape, or form like big-headed or egotistic or prideful. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm about my business. I have this to handle,
Yeah.
and we'll have time to, like, you know, I was saying earlier, like, to mess around. We're not here to mess around. We're
Not
here
at
to,
all, bro.
We're here to win the game.
Yeah, you know, spending so much time on my phone, I was getting pissed off at myself because I was like sitting there posting car pictures and all that, and that shit never paid my bills.
Yeah.
I've never got paid for fucking putting all this content out, and I fucked up. I should have had a YouTube channel because I was doing cool builds and stuff, but I didn't want to put myself out there at the time. We were making so much money. I was like, I don't need the YouTube money.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just kind of like all washed down with the cars and kind of got over it, bro. I was like, dude, I'm spending, like, I look at my screen time and I'm like, I'm spending so much time on Instagram, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, you enjoy it because you're learning, right? So I seriously sat down with myself one day and said, bro, I got to figure out how I could still be on Instagram doing everything I do and still generate money. That's the only way I wouldn't feel bad about,
Yeah,
spending time
because
on
you're
this
making
app.
money on it.
Because right now my wife tells me, "Why are you on your phone?" I flip my phone. I'm like, "Look, I just got a deposit. I just got a $3,000 deposit.
Yeah.
I just made money while I'm sitting down with
Yeah.
you." So it's like valid, bro.
Yeah.
You're at home, you're looking at Instagram, bunch of bullshit. You're not generating money.
Yeah.
You're gonna get called out.
Yeah, 100%.
So
and
that's
then
when I
who
started.
best than the wifeys? They call us out, right? They're like, "Hey, what are you doing? Let
Yeah.
me see. Flip that phone over."
There you go.
I was like, there you go.
I just got a deposit.
Yeah, I got a deposit.
paid your bills.
I just got.
Yeah, the deposit went straight to you. Check your account.
Right.
So it was great, bro. And then I kept growing with Dara, and again, back to the point, Dara is on a different level at the time. So he was on the $300,000 watches. I was still selling $5,000-$6,000 watches. The profit was very minimum. We're talking $500 to $1,000 a watch. And Dara straight up told me, like, "Hey, bro, like, I don't want to do those. Like, I don't want to do the small profit watches. Like, if you want to do them, but I don't want to do it. It's like, it's not worth it for me to step in and split $500 with you." So I was like, cool, but I have those orders and I can't just not fill them. So I started, venturing into like the whole wholesale, and because I never wanted to do that. Like, I always wanted to go through Dara for everything. Like, I needed a big watch, I just come ask him. But then when he told me he doesn't want be involved in the smaller watches, I was like, well, I got to find a place where I can get those smaller watches because I'm leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
So, bro, the more I started getting into it, the more I started like, growing and meeting people. And I'm like, you just got to a point where, things started happening at the office over there where I just didn't feel like comfortable bringing my clients there. Just because some of my clients, like, they smoke weed, bro. And they come and the whole building starts smelling like weed. And it started bothering him and stuff like that, nature. So I just felt like a little bit like I should take my clients somewhere else. So we proposed that my aunt has she's not like my blood aunt, but she's like an aunt to me. She has a jewelry store in Orange. And he proposed like, "Hey, do you feel more comfortable taking your clients there?" And I said, "Yeah, bro, I do. I'll take him there if that makes you feel more comfortable. I'll pick up the watch from you. I'll take him to Orange and I'll sell the watch there." So
And we're still talking about the lower end watches, or just okay.
everything.
Okay,
He trusted me to take anything.
Okay,
So
cool.
So I started doing everything from there. Might as well just do everything from there. So I got to a point where I have my own store.
Clients were going there and my own wholesalers. I started selling watches on my own that he doesn't have. So I mainly, previously I would only sell what he has. And then when I started getting into chats and stuff, I started offering other people's watches. So it didn't make sense to give him 50% anymore. You know what I mean? Because I'm buying the watch from a different guy now, and I'm selling it to a client that has nothing to do with him. So we weren't legal like partners or anything, on paper.
Yeah.
So we ended up I ended up just pretty much saying like, why am I going to give 50% of this, So yeah, bro, we got to a point where I'm not going to say like he pushed me out of the store, but he kind of like gave me the idea to go venture outside, which was kind of like not a good thing for him because I'm going to be gone doing my own thing now. And it just got there. It just got there. It wasn't a plan. It wasn't like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come learn this business and I'm going to leave and I'm going to open a store. No, like it was the circumstances that pushed me to do these things.
Go to that.
Yeah. It's like, I had to go there. I had to do this. So bro, when I got to my aunt's store, that's when I always say like the business started with 30 grand. I was wearing a watch for 30,000. It was a gold GMT that I bought for 30 grand. I sold it for 35. I took that 35. I bought 4 watches. Crazy part is my wife has a picture of me buying those 4 watches.
Oh, wow.
Try to get it. We'll throw it in here.
Yeah.
But it was like the first 4 watches I bought. They're all in boxes. I'm like stoked as fuck. And I just started doing my own thing, bro. And fast forward 4 years later, it straight up every single dollar I made, I put back in the business. I didn't buy cars. I didn't upgrade my house. I didn't do nothing. Every dollar I made, I put back in the business because in order for you to have such things, you need millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So it was straight grind, just straight grind of, building relationships.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people don't realize there's no financing when it comes to the watch game. So it's like you gotta have liquid cash. And
Absolutely. You can't go to the bank and say, I want to open a watch store. Could you guys give me a couple $1 million?
yeah, it's
Not
like
fetch it.
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
So, with the watch plug, bro, I have no investors. I have no capital investors. I have no partners. I have nothing. It's straight up all hustle.
It's all grind.
Yeah. And I'm growing a little bit slower. I'm growing fast to people. Like people see me and they're like, bro, you're fucking, this and that. But to me, like I compare myself like, if I had $3-4 million worth of inventory, I compare myself to the people that have 30-40 million.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, bro, I have such a long way to go.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to do this forever.
Yeah.
Which we go back to the integrity, loyalty, and honesty. In this world, bro, if you do one bad thing, your career's over. We've seen it over and over and over. Selling
100%.
a fake watch, selling this, doesn't last. The minute you sell a fake watch, the person that bought it, they will find out within an hour or two. You know, people are not dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, in order for me to get here, some deals I had to lose on, some deals I had to break even on, just to make people happy, because I know they're going to refer people. So it worked, bro. It worked. It was a concept that it started as a middleman, and now I'm a full-time watch dealer. I can't even see myself doing something else.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're starting, like when you're in a business, you start to think of other opportunities. I don't think of that.
Yeah.
I should, but I'm so focused, and I believe what this can do is better than all these opportunities that are provided to me.
Yeah.
And again, it's my passion. When it's your passion, you kill it.
I think overall, when you get to a certain point of time of doing business, you look in someone's eyes, and we know like who's real and who's not. And even through social media, just like, you know, when I was like, who's this guy, man? And I looked you up, and I'm looking at you, and I followed you. I'm like, okay, let me follow him in there, because I looked at you, and I'm kind of just seeing everything, the way you talk, the way you speak, the way, and I'm like, okay, this guy really knows this guy. Does he know his game? Is he really on point?
Yes.
You know, and I'm watching, I'm like, okay, this dude's on point, you know. So
thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
That to another, but like I said earlier, you know, God makes no mistakes, brother. I think like it's the right time to be in the right place. Right?
Absolutely, man. It all worked out, and you're a great guy, and I've been invited to a lot of podcasts, a lot. I'm sure you can imagine, you know, people with a lot of followers and stuff. But to me, those guys never supported me, bro. So when you came here and you're like, you bought a watch from me, I felt like I owe you that, you know. And I feel like it's time for me to do a podcast anyway. But it was more of like, this guy fucking supported me, bro. He was real as fuck. So I'm gonna do the same thing, you know. If I can grow your business, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna sit down and do this and grow your business as well. So
I appreciate it
both ways, you know.
It's our relationship building.
Yep.
Let's talk about some of the famous people that you've actually, you know, worked with, or, you know, celebrities. People want to know, have you dealt with some celebrities? Have you dealt with people?
It's like, I mean, I would call it like celebrity friends. Like, you know, we had a lot of clients, a lot of YouTubers. Like, you know, Landon McBroom was just here, Alex Choi, and a few, you know, like influencers. I deal with a lot of influencers.
Yeah, drop some names. Drop some names for the people that are watching.
Yeah, so Landon McBroom was just here, Alex Choi. I help out, you know, one of my boy Kai. He's like one of Drake's friends. So, you know, we deal with a lot of people. Some basketball players we sold watches to.
I know the question was asked too, like, have you ever had anybody buy a watch right off your wrist?
I was in a club at Pendry one time, and we've had a client. Well, he wasn't a client at the time. He was just a guy that he knew of me, and he wasn't wearing a watch at the time. And he saw me across the room, and he's like, I want to buy a watch. Like, call Watch Plug here. And I don't go to people's tables, bro. Like, you know, I'm 36 years old. I'm an older guy. But then one of my good boys was with him, and he came to me. He's like, yo, just come. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, we'll go. Let's go see what it's about. I was already like, you know, kind of in my zone.
Yeah.
And he was just like, hey, would you go open the store right now? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't go open the store right now. It's 12 o'clock at night. You know, we're partying at a club.
Yeah.
He's like, what if I buy your watch right now? I said, everything's for sale. So I took my watch off and I handed it to him. He liked it. He's like, how much? I said, $260. And he's like, I'll give you $250. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he's like, I'll send you crypto right now. So I called my little buddy that helps me with it. And I said, take his payment. So the transaction went down in the club. So I literally took my watch off. I gave it to him. He sent me the crypto. I saw my wallet. I got the money. I walked back to my table. And all my boys were like, yo, where's your watch? I was like, I sold it to that guy over there. They're like, dog, like they started getting up. They're like, bro, can't do that. Like, I'm like, no, it's good. I already got the money. He's coming back for his box and papers tomorrow to my office. And it just like took everybody like a few minutes to process. They're like, what the hell just happened?
This dude just purchased
and bro, like between us, I had paid
$250
$220 for the watch. I made $30,000 while I was partying.
Yeah.
It was the best thing ever.
Best thing ever.
It was on my birthday. You know, we were actually there. I don't go out. I was literally out just because it was my birthday.
That's what's up.
That's why, like, sometimes I looked at my wife. I'm like, see, I need to go out more often.
Right?
Yeah, let me out more often.
Let me out more often.
See me going to the club. I just made $30,000.
That's
so
crazy.
It felt good, bro. It was amazing. And then we started like dabbling into bags.
Yeah,
And
that's
we,
true.
We go back to the point that people started laughing at me when I started selling bags. Nobody knew what Birkins were. No, I mean, The people that knew.
Yeah.
But nobody knew what Birkins are. Nobody knew the prices. Nobody could fathom that you could spend 30, 40 grand on a purse. So I was like, again, I'm so blessed, bro, that I catch things at the right time, you know? I was like, bags, that's it. Like, I could see this growing.
Because you did that first bag. I mean, now we're gonna get into the bag game a little bit, because you said it's been doing really good financially. Like, it's been bringing in some good money.
No, so when I first, because we have over $1 million worth of bags now in stock.
That's what's up.
When I first started bags, I had a watch. Same concept. I applied it from watches to bags. I had all the watches now. I'm a full-time watch dealer. And I said, how can I take a risk on bags without taking a risk? Middleman them. So I started middleman bags. These sellers started having bags. So they send me pictures and I just post. And as soon as I sell it, I drop ship it from the seller to them. If they're in Cali, ship it to me and they pick it up in person. So I started doing that. Got to a point where we now have this store. And I'm like, started buying 1 bag, 2 bags. So I started buying stock because I felt comfortable now. Like, I know I could sell these bags, right? So I started feeling comfortable. So now I got, the other day, I'm so bad with like logging and stuff. That's why I need partners sometimes. So I'm like, I just buy. I don't even write it down sometimes. I'm just buying. And we put all the bags on the table. I'm like, just calculate what are we in them for? And he was like, it's 860 grand. I'm like, dude, I thought I had like 200-300K worth of bags.
Yeah, it's almost a mil.
860,000. That's like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So now, bro, like we started, we're one of the most reputable Hermes sellers in California. So
that's crazy.
But yeah, bro, to go back to the point, when I started selling bags, people were laughing at me, bro. They were just like, you're selling women's bags now? Like, how are you rich? Like, how are you got money? How do you have it figured out? Like, you're selling women's bags.
Yeah.
And now, bro, like, I promise you, I had to block people. I had to like do all that. And now, bro, it's like, where are these people at?
I know. That's exactly what I was going to tell you. Like, it seems like the ones that are not innovating are the ones that are going to be the first ones to talk about, they're losing, you're losing.
I swear, bro,
you're losing.
Crazy situations. But some guy just came in here the other day, literally, like, I'm going to talk about the most recent experience. Like, fuck all the old ones, right?
Yeah, let's go.
This guy just walked in here literally 3 days ago, and he spent $157,000 on bags.
Just like that.
Just like that. 20K profit, for me, is a great fucking day. You're not going to get that profit unless you have stock.
Yeah.
And that's why I always take it from the next level, from being a middleman to having stock. Because once you have it, people come in, you're going to sell more.
But that's the one thing about it too, that again, going back to just your humbleness, like being okay with, hey, I could start as a middleman. You know what I mean? And just level it up.
Yeah.
Just
to see if it works.
Level. Most people aren't willing able to put in that work. You know what I mean? And try to figure that out. They're like, how does he do it? Just middleman, right? You don't have to come, like when people say, how can I start a business without money? Or how, it's not true when people say that you can do something without money. Like, yeah, you can be a middleman. Which I was. That's how I started in the entrepreneurship. Yeah. I was at the street races as a kid, and I was the middleman.
That's why I had no shame of making my page Middleman Mo, because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make middlemen look cool again.
Yeah.
Because in all these rap songs are like, I want to talk to the middleman. I want to talk to the boss.
Yeah.
Guess what, buddy? The boss is too fucking busy.
Yeah.
If you want the end boss, you got to get through his middleman.
Yeah, 100%.
When you go to look at these auctions, Christie's auctions, which is the biggest fucking auction in the world, right? Yeah. They're auctioning like $20 million fucking diamonds, $10 million. Are those guys there? Are those guys that are buying this shit sitting there?
No,
you see a bunch of motherfuckers sitting there on the phone with them. Hey, should I bid higher? Should I bid higher? Why, bro? Yeah. That middleman will make the world go round. It's 100%. Not the end boss. It's that middleman, bro, because it goes through stages. So, it's funny, bro, these stupid ass rap songs, they were like, middleman this. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to make middleman look cool again. So I started that page, Middleman Mo. It's still up. It's middle_man_Mo.
There you go.
That shit is live.
It's official, so you can actually look it up. Everything here is real.
Crazy, bro. Yeah. And you'll see how early I started selling watches, because there's posts on there from like 2018, 2019 of me like dabbling with watches. And
what's crazy is that you've been in the game for a minute, and people will automatically think, like, who is this guy? And like you just said, 2014, that's 10 years. Even never mind all this other stuff you got going on in social media, 10 years of being in the game of social media. So it's not overnight. A lot of people think they're going to do something overnight.
Consistency, bro. You know, you're there for that long, you're obviously doing something right. That's why when we see somebody in a car, you're like, even if it's on payments, even if it's that, even if it's this, it's like, bro, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give you that car or that watch or that without having something. So
Yeah.
you're doing something right. So it's a validation, you know, type of
I think that's the difference between, I mean, once you made it and when, well, I mean, there's just, I guess, the character and the person that we are, right? We congratulate. We don't hate.
Yeah.
You know, we
Oh,
congratulate.
100%.
and
That's
then
why I always like shout out my boys. Like I always say, like there's another store down the street called Happy Jewelers. People consider them my competition. I'm like, every time somebody asks me, I'm like, Danny and Gabe are fucking great guys.
Yeah.
They're great guys, bro.
Yeah.
They have great product.
Yeah.
Buy from them. You know what I mean? They have a watch that I don't have. I'm not like, hey, I can get you that watch cheaper. Let me go look for it. I'm like,
Yeah.
does Danny have it? He has it in stock. That's a solid price. Go buy it.
Yeah.
And bro, it's content. Like I'm so fucking content.
Yeah.
That's the real win. You know, it's like when you don't view everybody as competition and you're like, if somebody buys a watch from me, they're gonna buy it because of me. Because bro, everybody got watches.
Yeah.
I didn't invent fucking watch. Like bro, there's people who've been selling watches since the 60s.
Yeah.
I didn't invent it. It's just I brought the personality with it. I brought the trust. I brought all that stuff with it and the dedication. Like people see me, bro. I'm posting at 5 a.m. I'm posting at 8 at night. Like I'm posting, bro. I'm dedicated. Whether I was making $500 a day or I'm making 50 G's a day, I'm still posting.
You're still that same guy. Yeah.
Because it's
You're still
also
that
my
same-
passion, bro. I
Yeah.
love this shit.
Yeah,
So I love this shit.
people lose that, right?
Yeah.
It's like I talk about ignite and ignite the fire, right? That's why I named it ignite with the why of like why are you doing what you're doing, and that's the biggest thing. It's like people don't realize you lose that fire, and then you go back. All you have to do is go back and go, well, what was I doing when I first got started? Like why when I was hungry, when I was
100%.
grinding, like. Oh, I was doing this. I was doing that. Okay, so you look at your habits. Did you drop your habits? Did you your good habits, not
Yes,
the bad ones,
absolutely,
the good
bro, I
ones.
agree.
Go back and go back to, oh, I used to post at this time. I used to do this. I used to do that. Then go back to it. Like that's all it is. It's like check yourself type of thing. No one's here to discipline you or discipline me. We got to discipline ourselves.
I agree, bro.
And I always tell people that too. Like the competition is here and here. No one else out there
Yeah.
cares about what you got going
Bro,
on.
I don't know. Maybe when I hit my 30s, but I really think people that are in competition with other people are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They're nuts, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's a mental thing. It's like, bro, who gives a fuck what that guy has?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that guy got a Bugatti. Like, what the fuck does that do for you? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anybody has, bro. Like, what did you have last year, bro? What do you have now? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys all heard this, but you got to compare yourself to the old you.
Yeah.
You're never going to grow comparing yourself to people.
Yeah.
Like this guy just bought a Bugatti, bro. That's cool for like a month or two.
Yeah.
3 months, 4 months, like, and then he's got to do something cool again. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, it's a non-ending race.
It
you know?
is.
Now I got kids, bro. Like, I want a house on the water, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck about cars. I love cars. Don't get me wrong. I'll always have cars. There's cars in my garage right now.
Bro, you gotta.
That's not my priority anymore.
Yeah.
It's not my priority. My priority is providing a place where I could experience life with my family, and I could always look back and be like, this time in my life I experienced this and that, because bro, it's all about experiences.
Yeah.
It's never about the end goal. I promise you, somebody gives you 300 million right now, you'll enjoy it for fucking 5 years, 6 years, and then after that, bro, you'll start seeing people fucking change. People will go away, maybe people will come, but
It's a lifestyle thing. I think
the
it's
grind it's the journey, bro. It's
Yeah,
the fucking
yeah. The
grind.
lifestyle
It's
to
like,
me,
I
I
want to
was-
grind, bro. I want to be able to sit here on this podcast and say I started this with 30 grand. If my dad was rich, if blah blah blah,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing, but I wouldn't have a story, bro.
Yeah.
And I want a story.
Yeah.
And thank God I have different goals now. My biggest goal right now, bro. Like I don't want to sound corny or anything, but my biggest goal right now is charity, bro. Like I want to give back.
That's
I
dope.
see like whenever I see a Bugatti online, it's cool. I skip right through it. Whenever I see like a badass chain, girls, whatever, I skip right through it. The things that catch my attention, bro, is people that are spreading good, right? This guy that goes to this family, hears their story, shit touches you, right?
Yeah.
So it started like I started feeling good, bro, just focusing on that.
Yeah.
One of my boys, he's actually on Instagram, millions of followers, MD Motivator.
Yeah.
Fucking solid guy, bro. Goes all around the world. Just helps people,
Yeah.
And to me, bro, that's my end goal now. Like, I want to fucking fly into Africa, bro. I want to go to an orphanage where, there's, they can't pay their bills. They don't have soccer balls. They don't have bikes, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And just being that guy.
Yeah.
And being able to visit there once a year and being like, bro, everybody looks at you like their savior.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like compared to God or anything, but
Yeah.
if you feel like a tool, like an extension of
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
right?
extension
You're
of God, yeah.
I want to
God-
help
God
these
flows
people.
through you,
God
and,
help me.
you
I
know,
want to help
yeah.
these people, and it's
Yeah.
true joy, bro. You lose all your money fucking giving it away, bro.
I think that
it's
changes.
better than you losing your money fucking gambling. You go mental,
Yeah.
you go fucking
Yeah.
this, you're a bad business move, you lose your shit. But you give all your money out, bro, and you sit down, you're never gonna fucking regret it. You will never regret it.
I think it's a lifestyle that I always say that I'm always broke. I tell people, and I'm like, I always put everything goes back into investing, but also I never really taught, I always give back to, it was my family, but then now this year it's crazy because I was in Miami, and then when I came back, it was like, I remember, and it hit me that moment when I was right there in the podcast, as a matter of fact, with Yados, and we were just chopping it up outside of the podcast, and he was like, why does it doesn't have to stop with your family, brother. You can, like, the world's yours. Like, you can give to the world.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, and so for me this year, we're on our 4th charity event this month alone. And it's like, this year has been more about giving back and really going back and thinking, like, it's true. Like, it doesn't have to stop with just me always giving to the family.
Yeah.
And I mean, not just, most people just take care of their wives, their kids. I take care of family, like everyone.
Absolutely.
Everyone needs anything here. I take care of them.
Thank God, man.
And,
It's a blessing. It's a good role to play, bro.
Yeah.
I'm the only boy in my family. I have 5 sisters.
Yeah. I'm
the
a
youngest.
boy and a sister as well. Yeah.
I'm also the youngest, so like, my dad kept fucking trying until the boy came. So like, I have that responsibility on my shoulders, bro. I'm like, like, my parents fucking went through hell to see me, bro.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I'm gonna take care of my parents forever. They're gonna live in the same house as me forever,
Yeah.
So it's like something you grow up with, that responsibility role, which I'm trying to give to my kids now. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm trying not to
And then
spoil
speaking
them.
of your kids, like that changed your perspective, no? As like
absolutely,
becoming a
bro.
father, becoming a parent. Like you said
Absolutely.
right now, when you swipe and you look at things, like you're absolutely right. Like the same thing with me. Like if I see like a kid or like a video of a kid, and like you said, it touches it. Like because I was that kid. I was
Same
that
here,
kid from
bro.
the projects.
Same here.
I was that kid with roaches everywhere. I was
Same
that kid
fucking here,
with
bro.
like being made fun of because the shoes and the shorts or the pants or nothing looked right. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah, same here.
You know,
Same, bro. When I went to Jordan, I lived in Jordan for 14 years. There was nothing fancy, We were just living every month, bro. My mom would we'd get $500-600 from my dad or whatever it is. We would spend that in the first 5 days.
Yeah.
Because we would be in debt from the last month. So
Wow.
like every dollar we would get would go out. I seen my mom in tears about money my whole life.
Yeah.
And one day I just snapped, I was fucking sitting on the stairs. I can't even forget the scene, bro. We were on the stairs of a building and my mom was just crying because she didn't know what to do. She had no fucking money. And I was 14 and I just made a promise to myself. I was like, my mom will never fucking cry for money ever again. And that's when I was like, bro, I snapped. I was like, fuck that, bro, Like, I'll do whatever it takes. Even I was so desperate, I was willing to do illegal things. I was like, I just can't see my mom fucking cry over money. I got tired of it, bro. So that's when my dad kind of started getting the feeling like, yo, this guy either might go this way or that way. So that's when he called my mom and he said, just send him to America. Just send him here. We'll figure it out. No place to live, no English. We'll figure it out. Just send him here. That's why it's always best to do things, bro, without a plan. Like, plans are fucking great, but you can't plan kids. You can't plan that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned before, I've made so much money in my life, but I've never saved it. Never fucking cared until I had kids. So if you think you having kids is gonna slow your hustle or do it, you're out of your mind.
No.
You're out of your
Changes
mind.
your whole perspective.
It makes you more committed. So now that even I made similar money to what I made in the past, I have all of it, bro. I have all of it versus I spent it all because I was young. I would go to clubs. I'd pop bottles. I'd do that. So if anybody's thinking about getting married and they're trying to time it, I want to get married after I get rich and I want to have a kid after I have this much money or after I have a house, you lost your mind.
Yeah.
You can't even plan your trip from here to the mall without running into traffic or something unexpected happened to you. So how are you
100%.
going to plan a whole ass kid on timing, blah, blah, blah? You just leave this shit in God's hands.
Yeah.
Leave it in God's hands and you roll with the plan. You just roll with it.
Yeah, that's dope. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true, man.
And bro, just to give, free game, we were talking about that, the main thing I tell people is don't be shy. Don't be shy to start something new. Even if you had something big and it failed, don't be shy to say it failed, because when you come out and you say it failed, you accepted it.
Yeah.
People see it and they get over it. They're like, oh, he already admitted it, he failed. But if you try to hide it your whole life, they try to go around you and talk about it, right? They're like, oh, this guy's hiding that. This guy's hiding that. So, the best free game is just being honest, bro.
Yeah.
And putting yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. If you're closed mouths don't get fed, right?
Yeah.
So you got to put yourself out there, even if it's uncomfortable. And the number one thing that ever always worked for me, bro, is never starting big. You don't need to start big. You start small, no overhead, no employees. You start on your own. Like right now, bro, like you said, like this company is big. You know how many people work for me? 2. I got my secretary and Ruben. That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Those are the only people that work for me. And we've accomplished so fucking much. Can I get a bigger office? Yes. Can I open a Birkin store? Yes. Can I hire more employees and start to do this? Yes. We're growing on our own pace. We're on our own pace.
Yeah.
And these guys that are with me, like, just, you know, they started working with me. It's kind of like part-time here and there. So I was like, I'm giving you $4,000 a month. Shit kicked off. I'm like, bro, I don't give $100 raises, $200 raises, like $1,000 a month extra, you know? I put him on another plan. After 6 months, I'm gonna give you another $1,000 raise. So just having the loyalty from these people, bro, because they're growing with me, you know? That's the only way an employee wouldn't leave you. You gotta, you know, put yourself in their shoes. They gotta grow with you. Every time I'd make a good day, I'm like, I go shoot them a couple $100, $300. Yo, we had a good day today. Like, you know, 1, 2, 3. So main thing is, bro, just not having a big overhead, honestly. And start middlemaning if you don't have money. I mean, it's always great to put all your money in a business, but it's so much pressure, bro. When you open a business, you have 50 grand, you put the $50,000 to your name in the business. Now you're like putting so much pressure on yourself. Does it work? Yes. Not my style. You know, that's just not my style.
Yeah.
I like to come in, test the concept. Once I see it's working, I go all in. I sold my McLaren. I sold this. I took a loan out, and I went all in watches. You know?
And I appreciate the game too, because I think people get tired of hearing it from me over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, hey, slow down, and then as you slow down, you get to see where you can head.
Yeah.
But if you don't slow down, you're crashing. Crash here, crash there.
And
crash
what
there,
worked
like-
for somebody else might not work for you, bro. Like just
Yeah.
because, you know, watches worked for me, like like, you know, some people don't know what to do with their life. They're like, I want to start selling watches. Like that's not it.
No,
That's
it's not. It's
fucking
not.
it.
It's not a. It's
Like,
yeah.
you
It's
know,
not.
it's when I started, it was a timing thing, you know. And second, it's like it's my passion, you know.
Yeah.
So how could you teach somebody passion, you know? There's a
You-
lot of
you
guys
can't.
that don't know what to do, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna start a watch thing, you know. It's like we make it look easy, bro. Just
Yeah.
because I'm posting a picture and I'm saying sold, you guys don't see in the backgrounds like buying a watch that wasn't good or buying a watch that was stolen. Now I'm dealing with cops. The cops want to come get it, even though I have the papers. It's still reported stolen because some people get watches stolen out of their house with the papers. So there's so much things on the back end, like.
Have you ever been like heard of somebody being robbed, or you been robbed, or you know?
Of course. So we're like,
Because the watch years are
right after
level.
the cops. People call the cops when they get robbed, and they call me because they want me to look out for their watches. And I can't. I think the last time you were here, we were talking about it. I told you I found one of my clients' watches in Canada.
Oh yeah.
$300,000 watch. I was able to track it down and find it, and we're getting it back for him. So that's why they call me, because I report the watch stolen. I put it in dealers' chats, and we have a network of dealers where as soon as we blast it, everybody looks at it. Does it go through the cracks sometimes? It does, because there's so much moving pieces to the puzzle, but you just got to be ready. When I started this business with Dara, there was 3 years of straight learning. 3 years of just learning everything. And I've seen him fail and succeed. That's when I took all that and I put it into my own thing, which has helped me not fail because I've seen the trial and error. So, bro, like in those 3 years, could I have started my own thing? Absolutely. Could I have gotten a capital investor? I have a bunch of my friends that have money that throw money at me. And whoever's watching this that knows me, they know my friends are fucking balling. I'm just in a circle of people that have buku money. Yeah, all offered me. They all done that. And to me, it's just like, I wasn't ready, bro. I wasn't ready. It's not just about having the money, having this. It just personally, like, I was like, bro, I need to learn more.
Yeah.
So do things, do it on your own time. You don't need to speed up. You don't need to get to somewhere in 10 years. All that shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
And just do it honestly, bro. Do it with love.
You've answered a lot of the questions that I was going to ask, and I think my last to kind of finish this off, bro, and I appreciate you, is you know, I always, this is Ignite the podcast, right? Ignite it, you know, and you did just that. What ignites Mo? You know, you said it earlier, your kids, I think nowadays, but what is the why in Mo?
Bro, it really is fucking charity. It really is. I want to, like right now, bro, I want to help people. You know, I want to go back to my country. I want to help people. I want to help. It's like no matter how much I help people, there's more people that need help. It's like my mom's aunt, right? My grandma, my you know, rest in peace her soul. She just passed away. I was supporting her for years.
Oh, I hear that.
It's just giving, bro. I feel like God gives me when I give.
Yeah.
You know? So to me, it's like the minute I stop giving, the minute that God is gonna, you know, stop giving me. So the more I give at this point in my life, I truly believe the more I give, the more I'm gonna give back. So that's just like, honestly, that's why it fuels me right now, bro. It's not a car, it's not a house. I live in a really nice house right now, bro. I live in a really nice area. I have paid off over $1 million in cars. It just doesn't do it for me, bro. It doesn't. When I'm on my phone and I look at these guys that I mentioned, like MD Motivator, it's like I go in a tunnel, bro. I go in a deep hole. I'm like, this is life, bro.
Yeah.
Is making somebody else's life comfortable.
Bro,
you know,
a
like,
toy.
this is life.
I was just at a charity on Sunday. A toy gives hope. Like people don't realize when I was that kid running in those charities, trying to get that one toy because my parents couldn't afford it. That gave me hope.
Yeah.
That like made me believe that, hey, there's a better world out there. There's something better.
Absolutely, bro.
And I would have never. People don't realize. I think they look at it as, oh, it's just a toy, whatever. You know, it's just a toy. It's just a kid. But they don't realize like who that kid could be.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like that was the difference between staying right in the hood or staying in the projects or doing where you're at to thinking, you know, I can be more.
Yeah.
I can do more. And to, you know, being able to now like retire my parents, pay off their home and do all these things that who would have thought that one toy can make all the difference.
Absolutely, bro.
Or that piece of pick up meals. You know, like
Seriously,
during certain places, and they would give us meals because we didn't have enough to buy meals. So those are the things that I feel like once we're here, and we never made it, but once we're here where we're at, you know, we're able to give back. You know,
absolutely. I've seen a lot of rich people pass, bro, and like this guy, bro, he was really popping in the car world. Every fucking car, he owned a rally. He had every car you could think of, bro, and he was like the topic of every sentence, bro. I promise you, bro, he passed away like 2-3 weeks after he passed away. Nobody's talking about him.
That's crazy.
Because there was no legacy, bro. Your legacy was that you had cars. You know, you started a fucking rally. Like, bro, where are the people that are praying for you every day when you're gone? So to me, bro, that's why I wanted to leave experience for people in this world that when I'm gone, they could talk about it more than just what I had for myself. It's what I gave to people.
That's awesome,
So
brother.
God willing, I can achieve that.
That's it, man. That's it. Well, look, guys, that's a wrap for us. And make sure you look out for this actual podcast from my guy, the Watch Plug. Want to make sure you guys tune in for the next one. Again, igniting the fire is what we do. And that's where we're at. Ignite yourself.
That's right. Thank you for coming, Brad. I appreciate it. And let's get it.